So in the last video, we looked at adding text using that cool text tool, that giant A at the side. And then when we've added our text and changed it so it's no longer boring Times New Roman, I've pressed this FX button to add a filter effect. And you can see here I added a glow. That's one of my favourite ones, where I actually play with how intense it is. And I can change how I blur and fade it out. So you can just literally change those settings to whatever you want. You can pick whatever colour you like and just have a play really of what you prefer. You could add a shadow, bevel and emboss, make it look a little bit 3D. And you can see on my outline, you can change it to whatever outline colour that you want. I prefer my white one. And just press OK when you're ready. And you can see I've also added some on my spine and made sure that I got my black arrow, and I can simply rotate it round. I've also decided to go back onto my, if I just drag that off, onto my spine, and I've used that wine tool, that transparency tool again, just to fade out my spine a little bit, just so it fades into the background. And you can see me just dragging the different layers back in place. And it just sort of fades out a little bit, just to make it look a little bit more professional. So you should always, when you've got text, be adding that filter effect, and you choose which ones you would prefer. And again, use that transparency tool to fade things out. You can fade text out if you want to fade your text out. I wouldn't recommend it, but it is something that you could play with. Where you just move the lines and you just play with the options. I'm not a fan of that though, so I'm going to keep mine quite plain. But I do think using that transparency tool on images to fade your backgrounds out does look quite nice. Something else you can do with your text is change the text path. So if you go up to just above and it looks like a funny looking kiss, an X with curly bits, if you drop down there, you can change your text path. If you want it curved or however you want your text to look, you can mess with some of these little options. Again, it's just another technique that you can have, or you can decide against it. But the more tools that you are showing us that you know how to do, so long as it's looking effective, the higher mark band you're going to be looking at. The next thing I'm going to do is add some images. Now we know how to add text, so I'm just going to find, I'm going to add pets. I'm going to have an animal magazine, and I'm going to choose that one. Oh, in fact, no, let's go for the husky. Let's copy that. So again, I can copy and paste or Control-C, Control-V. And what you should be doing when you've got images is actually using this cutout studio to remove and crop parts of the image that you don't want. You should be using the PhotoLab to add special effects filters, maybe change the colours. Again, you can change the options. I'm going to go blue just to make it really stand out. Press yes when you're happy, because I'm expecting that you can edit the images. You don't just copy and paste an image, you have to be able to edit it. You can use, if you go to the side, you can use your rubber to rub part of this image out. And if you just drop down there, you can see erase. And I could just start to simply